So let's say you're going on holiday and the destination is like 100 miles away. Do you just get in your car and drive? Or do you stick it in your sat nav maybe and find a most convenient route to where you're going to go, the most easiest route? So basically, you plan the trip. And this is what I always say: fail to plan, plan to fail. So in today's podcast, I'm going to run through a business plan of the things which you should consider to maybe when you're starting up a business, or even if you've started a business and it's not really working out, and you might need to sit down, make a bit of a business plan, and then it will give you that roadmap to build your business for the future. So let's go. Toolbox Talks for Electricians, helping electricians reduce stress, gain back time, and earn more money. Welcome back to Toolbox Talks for Electricians. My name is Ben Poulter, your host. And what I try and do with this podcast is help people build their business, have a better business, and basically make some more money with being an electrician. And one of the things that I didn't do when I first started out was have a plan. I just got all excited. You go straight in there and you just want to start working basically and earn some money. And you do. You consistently earn some money, but the same money in a way. And basically, if you're building a business, you want to progress. You want to earn more and more money all the time because it makes it worth your while rather than working for somebody else. So number one, the first thing you want to consider is the name of the business. And I do recommend straight away, not them silly little names. I don't know. I know people with a name called Bright Sparks, but I feel that's a bit of a jokey name. And maybe the best way to get an idea for a name for your business is Google the area. Go onto Google, the area where you live, and put maybe Electricians near me and see what business names come up. There is one in my area called Need an Electrician. That's not a bad name because when someone puts in I need an electrician into Google, that's going to be the first thing that comes up. So it's a bit of a stupid name, I think, but it maybe works out. I haven't really spoke to the guy, but yeah, it probably works out for him. And I considered maybe the companies that I'd worked for in the past that were quite successful. Like there was T. James and there was Grentsills, Northants Electrical. So little things like that, maybe consider the names that companies that you've worked for and get some ideas for the name for your business around that. The most common is like your initials, then electrical. But whatever you do, make sure it's got electrician or electrical in the actual name. I don't think you want to call it something like maybe Neo. Neo, yeah, it is a cool name, but it's not really going to work out when you first start up. And there is a company called Artisan, which, I don't know, it's nothing to do with electrics, I don't think. But Artisan is a very successful electrical business. But my advice to you is start off with basically electrical in the name of the business. Maybe it's Ben Electrical or Sharp Electrical or Electrical maybe. I don't know. But it's got to have electrical in the business because that will help get your name out there on social media. And then once you've established your name, basically get an email and a registered bank account, a business account, everything under that name. Like maybe if you set up a LinkedIn so people can obviously find you, or a website maybe where you're going to have that name as well. So everything coincides with that name. Don't have maybe Ben Electrical and then Poulter Electrical, sort of two company names that coincide with each other, because it's not going to work out. If you've got Ben Electrical, have Ben Electrical for everything. And then, of course, you want a business address. Whether you've got a unit where you run your business from, somewhere like that, you've got to basically keep that address the same for everything. The wholesalers, when you open an account up, that's going to be the address that they use, or maybe deliveries as well. It's the most common address where you want your materials to go, or basically where you want your invoices to go, and everything to be in conjunction with the business name. And then get your contact information in order. So if you've got a mobile that's basically this is just for business, then get that mobile number written down. If you've got an email, then yes, register that email with maybe Google Business to start with. Then that email and that phone number is basically for your business, because that's the way that customers are going to contact you. So make sure that you've got that written down basically for everything. You're going to use that everywhere you go. For wholesalers, if they ever, people walk into wholesalers all the time and say, excuse me, can you recommend a good electrician? Well, if they say, yeah, we've got this guy, you can either email him or give him a call on this number. That's the number that you want to give out to everybody when you're starting your business. The same number and the same email. And when thinking about your business, when you're starting up, think about what sort of electrician are you? Are you going to be a domestic electrician, a commercial electrician? Basically, you can concentrate on TV aerials, or you're going to do maybe smart lighting, EV charging, anything like that. That's sort of a slogan or a tagline, what you want in your business. Say, Ben Electrical, a domestic electrician, or for all your electrical needs. Something like that that's going to entice people to think, right, I know exactly what he does. You don't want just Ben Electrical, then they phone you up and say, excuse me, can you install my 3-phase motor? You're like, no, I only do 240. Some people do 240, only do 240. But if you've got experience in 3-phase, then yeah, fine, you can do that as well. Because I do think that domestic premises are going to start having 3-phase put into the property, because EV chargers are more efficient on 3-phase these days. And then you want to detail down what the plan is, what you want to do in your first year, what you want to start off on the right foot, what the plan is to get going, basically. For example, like your first year, you want to establish a good customer base. You want to get your name out there, and every customer, you want to make the most of that customer, to give them your details to be able to give to their friends and family. So you want to build your business that way, establish a good customer base, because then if you're ever busy, you could, if you're ever not busy, you can send out an email and get a shed load of work. And then be realistic as well. What do you want to earn? If you're saying, right, I want to earn 20 grand a year, then I think you probably earn more than that going working for a company, working for somebody else. So basically write down something while you've maybe started up on your own. If you were working for a company where you were getting 35 grand a year, well, you at least want to be pulling home sort of 45, 50 grand a year as a self-employed electrician. So write that down so you've got something to aim for. And then if you start out saying originally, you say, right, I just do commercial to premises, or I just do domestic. Have you got a plan for the future to maybe do an extra course where you do testing and inspection? Or maybe if you're going to do an extra course where you're going to do renewable energy, like solar panels or EV chargers, something to upskill yourself. If you have a plan moving forward, that'll give you something to aim for. And it's nice to sort of look forward in the past. I like to give myself something to aim for, but then I always move the goalpost, always move it a bit further, because I sort of, when I'm getting there, it takes the pressure off a little bit. I thought I relax, saying, I'm on the right track, I'm getting there. But no, if that goal is in the distance, you're going a bit faster towards it. So give yourself some goals, and always move them goals as well, because if you reach your goals, then it proves you can do it. So if you do EV charging and you add that to your business, where you say, yeah, I'll do EV charging now, and you get a shed load of business and do so many EV chargers and install them, you get spot on at it, then you can say, right, I'm going to do solar panels now because I've got experience in renewable energy. Something like that. And I always say, aim high. But when you're starting out, you want to make it clear what services you do offer, what you're comfortable with doing. Say you're comfortable with doing domestic rewires, or maybe commercial emergency lighting, or maintenance. The services, what you're comfortable and that you know what you can do, list them down. Because then when someone phones you up and says, right, do you do a maintenance contract on a cinema? Yep, I've got an IPAF license and I can build a tower and I'm not bad with heights. So yeah, I can do a maintenance contract on a cinema, not a problem. And starting your own company as well, you will forever get asked, do you do EICRs? And if you don't like doing testing too much, don't put that down. You're going to have to know a bit of testing if you're an electrician, for definite. So you can also add that service to your list of things that you can do for customers. You could also be really interested, like myself, in smart control, like the Hive heating controls or the Nest heating controls and the smart lighting and the NRJ, the kinetic switches and stuff like that. I find that fantastic, and I love being able to sort it out where people can hook it up to their app on their phone and control all their lights from their bedroom. I think that's fantastic, and I enjoy doing that. So put smart lighting control down as one of your sort of skills that you offer within your business. And if you don't offer that but you want to, then buy a load yourself and you can figure it out at home. It's quite simple to do. It's just takes time to get used to it first, because when you first get used to it, it does take you a little while to set the app up and get it all wired in. You get some problems you have to sit there and faff around with. It's like programming your bleeding Amazon stick. You sit there for hours at night when you could have just watched a YouTube video. So to get good at something, just do it more and more. That's all you got to do. Do it more often and do a lot of it in your own house. Because if you've got all smart lighting controls in your own house, then you can also do a video and show customers, look what I've got. Would you like me to do the same for you? And then figure out what is going to be your target market. What sort of jobs do you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy doing domestic, commercial, industrial? Or maybe you might want to do EV chargers or solar. So then figure out who you're going to aim for, who you're going to basically advertise yourself to. Because in residential or sort of domestic premises, you can say, right, I can do work for the council. I can tender for work for the council. Because once you're on the council, I think, yeah, they'll keep you in plenty of work. But then there's also commercial or industrial clients as well. You can say, right, do I want to go into the hospitality where you go into restaurants and shops where you're going to do commercial that way? Or are you going to do things like Primark and big industrial commercial contracts? Knowing what you're aiming for will help you get there, I think. Because if you're just aiming for them all, then you're sort of hit and miss and a little bit of effort into all of them. But if you say, right, I know exactly what I want to get industrial maintenance contracts, well, then you go for that. You aim for that. Put your name out in front of everyone who needs an industrial commercial maintenance contract. And then also do your market research. Have a little look, get on Google and do a little look at the electricians that are in your area and maybe what services, what they offer. Or you maybe know a few electricians. You maybe have worked for a lot of electricians in that area. Check out what they're doing, because if they've been established and been around for a little while, then obviously it's working, because you can go onto Google and see who comes out at the top. Have they got good reviews on their website? Have they even got a website? Check out what they've got, because you can always do better. This is the thing. You don't have to have your own ideas. Copy someone else's and just make it better. And from the offset, from day one, get yourself a nice t-shirt. Get yourself branded. Basically, if it's Ben Electrical, get a nice logo made up, or make yourself a logo up and get that branded across maybe hats, t-shirts, across your van. It depends how far you want to go, but at least I would say get yourself a decent polo top so you look smart and presentable when you turn up to give a customer a quote. Because branded kit, it just looks a little bit better. You look a lot more professional. And take a little bit time with this logo as well. Make sure it looks decent, because you don't want to be chop and changing it every week or every month or so. You want to make sure, right, that's my confident, that's my logo, and that I'm confident I'm going to be using that for the next 5 or 6 years. And then I wouldn't say that you need this straight away, but it could be an option. Are you going to get yourself a website? Basically, a website is where people can go and check out the work that you've done or the testimonials that you've got as well from other customers. It's always good. Customers like to check out their electrician that's coming around, especially if they've never met them before or have not been recommended. They want to see, have they done work before? Are they any good? Like, have they got a good background? So having a website with some photos on there, or even just a social media presence where you've maybe got a Facebook page or a TikTok or even your Facebook profile that you use as your electrical business page. Because then all these social media accounts, they can be used to get you more work as well, because customers will come across you and find you on these social networks. Because I do believe that social media is a fantastic way of getting new business. Basically, as well, if you've got a Facebook page where you put pictures on there of the work that you're proud of or what you've done, and people engage. So, well, could I have that done? Like, could I have that sort of lighting done in my bedroom? Similarly to some lighting I've done in someone's bedroom lately, where I've got track lighting all the way around the room and it's colour changing. It's fantastic for a young kid's bedroom. People ask all the time, can I have that done? I've gave them quotes and stuff to get them done, but then they don't realise that they need to get the ceiling skimmed as well once I put the track in. But it's something they can look at in the future, maybe. And then also, once you've set a Google business profile up, because without a doubt, you've got to set a Google business profile up, because everybody Googles things these days. So if you've got Ben Electrical on Google, then fantastic. You're going to get found nice and easy. Have a little look at some keywords of what the top person is using on Google and use the same words. It'll help you rank higher and higher within the Google search. And then also, Ask customers to leave you a review. Every little bit helps. Post photos, update it all the time, and engage on them. I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, every night, but at least once a week. Post a photo, bit of engagement on that social media presence in a way, sort of thing, so people can find you. Because there could be an incentive for your customers to leave you a review on your Google business profile as well. You could say, if you leave me a review, I can give you 10% off next time you have a job done. Hopefully you've just rewired the whole house and I don't need any more work done, because we're electricians, man. We don't like giving discounts. But you can give a discount for a referral, because that'll give them the incentive to leave a review and then recommend you to their family and friends as well. But then the one thing that you're going to need to make a list of is, if you're starting up on your own, you need to get your own tools. What you need is test kit, screwdrivers, cutters, drills, chasers, hoovers, sheets, and there's a lot of different tools that you need. So check out your budget, see how much you've got to spend on tools to kit your van out, because you might want to put some racking in there as well to keep it nice and neat. And I would definitely recommend upgrading the locks on your van, because if you're parking in some dodgy area where you're doing a job, vans get broke into far too often. So upgrade your locks, stick an alarm on it, maybe 500-600 quid invest in securing your van. You can get them big round locks that you stick on to on the back of your van and bolt them on. That will make it a lot harder for someone to get in. Basically, you want a deterrent to stop people breaking into your bleeding van. So that's another good idea to invest in your business by putting that in your budget, some van security. But then as well, you want to get out there, open up an account with a few wholesalers, I'd say, a couple of wholesalers, to make sure that you can always get supplies. Because with wholesalers, I like having an account. Some people pay cash all the time, but if you have an account, you can get shed loads of kit for more than what you need. And if you don't use it, you can take it back. I don't like going to a job and think, I just need one more box lid for this conduit trunking that I'm putting in, or conduit work that I'm putting in. I hate it. I'll get 10 of them and think, right, I use 3. I'll just take the other ones back, or more likely they'll hang around in the van for a few months and get lost. Because having an account with a few different wholesalers as well, you'll see which one gives you the best deal. Every person gets a different discount at wholesalers. Well, now this is going to be your main tool. It's your van. You want to spend a decent amount of money on a van if you can, or lease hire a van, because that is what gets you to and from the job, and you want to turn up. And I do recommend maybe having an half decent van where you don't turn up bellowing out black smoke with rust all around it or anything like that. Look after it, give it a good wash, and if it's a decent van, you want to look after it anyway, because my dad always told me, look after your car and it will look after you. It's a van light, but yeah, look after your car by getting it serviced and things like that, and it will look after you by not be breaking down. And touch wood, he's been right. Another thing to add in your budget will be office supplies. You're going to need a laptop or maybe a computer of some sort, because you've got to do invoices, quotes, and you've also got to do searches for insurance and things like that. So a laptop or some sort of computer, or a tablet maybe, is going to have to be added into your budget to run your own business. And then once you've got all these in your head, maybe written down, do a bit of a financial plan to say, right, this is my budget, where am I going to spend it? Because you might not have a fantastic amount of budget. You might have, a few £1,000, and this is what tools you need. You might have some tools already, but you've got to weigh up what you'll need to do the job, to start up on your own. You can always add to that later on, but it's nice to know where you're at and what you want maybe in the future. You'll always want tools, to be honest. There's always something that electricians want. And then also plan for if something doesn't go to plan, basically. If you're going to have a bit of savings, your budget, put a bit in there to say, right, I can basically have a month off with no work. I've got the money for it. I can still pay my mortgage. I can still pay my bills. That's what you want to do, to make sure that you're not struggling and you're not worried, and you're not going to go out there and say, look, I'm going to just scrap this in and work for somebody else. After you've done all this hard work to plan to work for yourself, stick at it. Get that plan and make it work. Because you also will need to register as a sole trader. or a limited company, depending what you choose to do. So you need to go onto the HMRC and say, right, you're no longer employed. You need to register as a sole trader and get that done to pay your CIS tax. Another thing you might need to register for, maybe not straight away, but something you need to think about, is registering for the NIC or NAPIT to be Part P registered. And they'll also give you a checklist of where you need to get your public liability insurance and whether you need public indemnity insurance. Because some commercial industrial contracts, which you do work for, they'll require you to have. Well, a lot of them, I think, they require you to be registered with the NIC. And well, the minimum is basically insurance. You've got to have your public liability insurance. And then detail down the benefits of what people would get from choosing you. Say you're friendly, reliable, family man, punctual, and things like that. These are the things that people value, I think, customers. If you're punctual and you're friendly and you're easygoing. This is the things what customers like if they work in a domestic premises. And obviously, I think commercial, industrial, they just want you to get it done as quickly as possible. But all these little things is maybe something you need to put in your mind to think about, maybe jot down, put them on a Word document on your laptop or anything like that, or your new computer that you're going to get, and say, right, this is what I'm doing this year. Maybe look at it every year or every few months or so. Just say, right, am I heading in the right direction? Am I on track of the plan that I've made to build my own business? So if you want a download of this basically business plan which I've designed, then check in the description below, and then you can download it and adapt it to suit your business and your needs, and save it on your computer so you can visit back and adapt it every now and again. You can structure down exactly what you're going to spend on tools. You can structure down exactly the business, like expenses, what you're going to have, everything on there to know which direction you're going in to starting your own business. And this will help your business not fail. The thing is, there will be a few speed bumps in that road. They're everywhere, let's be honest. But then it's how you deal with those speed bumps. Yeah, you might not get any work to start with. All right, why am I not getting any work? No one knows I've started a business. Then tell everybody you know you started your own business. Oh, why am I not earning much money? Maybe you're not charging enough, but you've got plenty of work. There'll always be a reason, and there are little things you can tweak to make that business better. So go out there and earn a shed load of money.